Our next speaker today is Rahul Garg. He's the founder and CEO of Moglix, and he's going to be speaking on creating a digitally transformed and organized supply chain. Rahul is a BTech from IIT Kanpur and a gold medalist at ISB Hyderabad. And before establishing Moglix, he has worked with organizations like Google, Freescale, and Connexin across Tokyo, Singapore, and India. And during his 5-year stint at Google, he was instrumental in growing the advertising business, exchange business, from up to $100 million. And Rahul incidentally holds 16 patents across wireless LAN, 3G, 4G, and satellite receiver designs. And now he does logistics. So please welcome on stage Mr. Rahul Garg, founder and CEO of Moglix.
Thank you, Giri, for the kind introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Quite excited to be here among the CIO community, thinking about what's next in technology and how each one of you can play a very, very important role in this world where digital is the core of business. It is critical to business strategy. It is critical to enabling businesses to get competitive edge. It is critical for survival of businesses over the next 20, 30, 40 years coming up. So I'm going to do a quick housekeeping. We announced that people who are wearing Moglix t-shirts for the session today are entitled for a lucky draw, which is an iPad mini. So just by show of hands, how many of you are in Moglix t-shirts? How many of you are hiding? So I can see 30, 40 people eligible for that. And how many are not wearing? So smaller percentage, but I can see that some of you are not there. So to motivate all of those who are not wearing the Moglix t-shirt, we have a lucky draw which will be Kindle for you. The ones who are wearing Moglix t-shirt are eligible for both of those draws. So they are eligible for iPad mini as well as the Kindle. I'll start this presentation with a short video about what is Moglix.
Perhaps nothing quite symbolizes the protectionist, closed economy of post-independent India as the design of the ambassador car. Bulky, slow, safe, and prudent. All through the era of economic liberalization in 1990, India had been coasting along cautiously with incremental policy moves. While the world had acknowledged its technology prowess in IT and telecom, India was raring to ride the next wave of growth, anchored around manufacturing excellence and compete in the world order. The time was ripe for another bold and loud shift. The Make in India initiative.
Come, make in India.
Attracting the best of brands and technological giants from across the world. And the Digital India movement, ushering in a new era of connectivity, transparency, and convenience. A new India had arrived, India 2.0, and the world was listening. E-governance cut down layers of red tape and manual paperwork. Online applications for industrial licensing spurred new businesses. And a personal digital locker, a giant step towards creating a cashless economy through unified payments interface. A uniform transparent system of taxation known as Goods and Services Tax, GST, unifying manufacturing and services by eliminating the many layers of double taxation, facilitating ease of doing business for investors and operators. And the results are expected to be spectacular. Today, India is set to gain $15 billion by boosting exports, attracting FDI, and generating employment through a GST-compliant economy. Welcome to India 2.0. A manufacturing hub of the future with technology-driven business processes. In these exciting times, Moglix has emerged as a technology-led company, helping India realize its dream of becoming a GST-compliant, digital and strong manufacturing economy. Moglix is an integrated GST-compliant B2B procurement platform, making Indian manufacturers world-ready with supply chain efficiency. A specialized digital platform built to enabling product discovery, price negotiation, logistics, and payment capabilities. bundled together in a single solution for manufacturers and vendors across the value chain. Moglix salutes the undying spirit of India, a country that never fails to surprise. Surviving all odds, it rises yet again to lead the world into the new millennium.
Thank you. So as you can see, we are a fairly young company, probably youngest of all the sponsors and in this community, but with a very, very large and bold ambition. Can we revolutionize global B2B commerce and how we can bring the best of supply chain efficiencies, manufacturing, digitization, GST for every single manufacturing house in the country. Just to share a bit of statistics, if you look at it, Indian manufacturing sector is $300 billion today, contributes 17% of the GDP. But even with such high numbers, we are just 1/7 of where China is in terms of manufacturing. And if you look at the ambition that we have set for the country, which all of us are part of and responsible for going towards that ambition, is building this sector to a $1.5 to $2 trillion sector, where it contributes 25% of country's GDP. And with that also, we only hit probably 1/3 of where China is already today and will be in the future. In this journey, what we have set an ambitious goal for Moglix is, how can we directly or indirectly impact $100 billion over the next 8 years to the Indian economy? Now that is the vision and future for the company, and I know there are a lot of transformation talks that have happened which talk about what will happen in 5 years, but the core question remains, what will you do next as you get into office on Monday, Tuesday, depending on whether you have Raksha Bandhan holiday or not. And that is what I want to talk about today. So there are 3 key areas where I want to touch upon. One, to get onto this ambitious goal, we need to act now. We can't wait for weeks, we can't wait for months to make those decisions. How do I digitize my supply chain, because it is not completely digitized? How do I start my data journey? And it is interesting, in yesterday's breakfast conversation, one of the gentlemen talked about him having 36 TB of data. But how to utilize that data was still an unanswered problem. And that is a problem that we need to solve. And third is, how do I get the best in line organized supply chain coming to my manufacturing plants? Because if I want to compete globally, I cannot be just running this supply chain in an inefficient manner. So on the first topic, I want to leave a thought that if you are doing any flow of information or a process today which is non-digital, it is criminal. The CIO should basically leave his title. I think it is your responsibility as CIO, CDO, that you champion that any business process in your organization not digitized is not acceptable. And that is an important role that each one of you need to play in the organization. And today we are no longer a silo organization. You can't say that my internal organization talks digitally, but when I talk to my suppliers, when I talk to my service providers, when I talk to my logistic partners, when I talk to my dealers, distributors, all of that will be manual. So you need to look at digitizing not only yourself, but your entire ecosystem conversation. And while many of you may think some of it exists, but I can guarantee we work with 200 plus large manufacturing houses, and the basic supply chain processes continue to be anywhere between 30 to 70% manual, non-digitized and broken. They are also running on technology which has been outdated literally 10 to 20 years back. When you are looking at .NET, when you are looking at poor UI UX experiences, when you are looking at non-mobile responsive websites, when you are looking at applications which do not have mobile app, that is something you should be doing in 98, not in 2017. And that is what is the action that is required. it is no longer important to think of that I have provided a technology and the users are not using it, and that is their problem. I don't think that's the right way to think about as digital enablers in each of these organizations. We have to take ownership of designing technology which is user-friendly, enables users at the ground, at the factory level to use the technology and start to make those actions. We cannot have an excuse that I have a 12th pass guy, a BCom guy working in a factory in shop floor and he can't use technology. I can tell you, he can today come and teach you how to optimize Ola ordering, how to do Flipkart ordering, where to get the best coupons, probably more than what you know about. So it is not his inability to use technology, but it is our responsibility to design technology which is easy to use, something he can learn by himself and can start to see the benefits of that technology. And that is what Moglix is focused on. So we live and breathe supply chain digitization. We are a set of 10 leaders and 200 plus people who day in and day out thinking about products which use SaaS platform techniques, products which use the best-in-class B2C user experiences to bring to the B2B world, products which say that doing anything manual is criminal. There are 3 platforms that we have today. One is a combination of 2 platforms which enable you to talk to every single stakeholder externally in a digital, user-friendly manner. That's a Moglix for business and Moglix for supplier. Second piece, which enables you to talk to GST in a seamless manner, but it doesn't stop there because, again, just like digital is an ecosystem problem, GST is an ecosystem problem. You are, as an organization, not GST compliant till your ecosystem is digitally compliant. If your supplier is not filing on 10th, you have a problem. And that's what you need to be cognizant of. There's a case study where we have developed and deployed at one of the large automotive components guys, where the challenge was, how can I enable a just-in-time supply chain, operational efficiency almost up to 25%, and leading to inventory optimization of the tune of 10%. This is a platform, SAP certified, delivers this entire experience beautifully, and the users are starting to use it. The second problem that I want to switch about is data. We learned a lot about AI, ML, blockchain, so on and so forth. Let me give you a snapshot of the reality which I can guarantee if you give me access to your data, I will prove it. This is the quality of your data. Your data has missing brands, your data has duplicates, your data, if I was polite, I will say it is garbage. If I was impolite, maybe there are other words, but that is the quality of data that exists. You apply artificial intelligence, ML, blockchain on top of it, there will be zero output. So one important factor. How do you get to clean data which can be used to start making business decisions? And most of this data in manufacturing houses, we call it a factory language description of what you're doing. And that is what you need to translate into a usable data. We have been able to start to solve this problem for a category of products that we do as a commerce, which is 3,000 plus brands and 2 lakh plus SKUs. We are able to bring the factory language information and the accurate product information and combine them to generate meaningful data which can go back into your databases and you can start to do actual business intelligence on top of it. The third concept, organized supply chain. How many of you realize that supply chain can be as high as, can make an impact of anywhere between 10 to 20% on an organization? We have started to cater to only one piece of it, which is OpEx buying. It's a smaller percentage by value, but very, very complex from a technology and the fragmentation of supply chain perspective. We today work with many of these manufacturers to become a one-stop solution for all this buying. There is a 200 plus buyers list over the last 2 years who have endorsed, who have trusted us that their manufacturing plants will run using Moglix commerce and supply chain. And we know that the criticality of some of these products are as high as that the manufacturing plant can shut down if the products are not delivered on time. These are products which are required for maintaining your machinery. They can be bearings, electricals, chemicals, lubricants, tools, all of those products which are not necessarily high in value but important for running your plant. The biggest of name, if you look at it, Havells, many of the automotive components guys, FMCG guys, whether it is GSK, Pharma, all of these companies are starting to use Moglix technology. We are able to do it with the supplier partnerships which are across 28 plus categories, 2 lakh plus SKUs, some of the best brands in the country. We are present today physically in 6 locations. We are expanding to 9 locations. So we are present in 4 locations in NCR, Pune, Chennai, and we are launching Bombay, Ahmedabad, Bangalore as the 3 more locations where we have our fulfillment centers, we are building distribution centers, and we are continuing to evangelize the role of technology and digitization. This is an example case study where a company with 23 manufacturing plants, how does he bring a consistency in terms of his buying process? He started with a very conservative 3 manufacturing plants, has expanded to 16, ambition to go to 23 manufacturing plants. This is a quote from a person who has been a CFO and a procurement about how he has seen Moglix adding value. And I am over time, so thanks a lot. But I'll leave you with 3 thoughts. Think about it. Once you have your Monday or Tuesday email cleaned up, I need to think of what can I do today on digitization of supply chain. Second, how do I make my data usable for business analytics and all the fancy stuff we want to do? And third is, how do I bring organized supply chain? All of you are the custodians, digital evangelists in your organization. It's your responsibility and you owe your organizations to take this action. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul.